Hello everybody, good morning, habari zenu, oro wanyu, konnichiwa to my Japanese peeps. And today we are going to get into part 2 of Black Fatigue, aka Ghetto Fatigue, from the point of view of an African immigrant. For part 1 of the video, please check the description area, but I'm going to try to link it somewhere here if YouTube allows me. Now let's go to the next part of this video now. I have noticed a huge part of my ghetto fatigue is the fact that it's usually the Democrats. No one has been more racist to me than the black Democrats of this country. I'm going to use black in quotation marks. Again, because I don't call people colors. We're not white or black. We're just people. You'll hear me using terms like vanilla or chocolate. So it took a while to realize this over the years. Like I said, being on TikTok really did open my eyes, because that's where I found a lot of information about this stuff. I got to see it for myself. I would see creators making this content, being victims of their own making, claiming how they have generational trauma, and it was always the same people. It was always the same people. It was so refreshing to me to see conservatives who looked like me, who did not hate their country, did not call themselves victims, didn't have a chip on their shoulder, were not acting ghetto, were speaking articulate. But then also they were called names like I was called names by these, again, dark-skinned Democrats. Part of those names, and this is a huge marker for me, when they go straight to telling you you're speaking white. I speak white. Did you mean to say I speak eloquently and properly? That I speak correct grammar, formal English? Let me give you a secret. I'll tell you something you might not know. English is my second language. I speak 3. I was taught British English because Kenya, being a former British colony, English is our official language. No one ever said I spoke white until I came to the States. You know who says I speak white? You people. Slavery mentality. You who are stuck in a mental cotton plantation. Please leave the plantation and come to us normal people and stop being inferior. I've been told I'm speaking white, and I'm talking just not just me, but anyone really who acts properly and doesn't act ratchet, they will call you these names. They'll see you trying to be white, which that's also something deeper there, because they have inferiority complex. So white to them is superior. Stay with me. So speaking properly and articulately and eloquently to them is speaking white. So then why do they speak Ebonics? I don't know. They'll call you names like coon.
I'm not upset with y'all because I know you're mentally ill, which is why one day I'm going to open up a hospital for mentally ill Africans. I'm going to hospitalize you coons because I care about you and I love you. You're part of our family. I cannot let you go and do what you want to do. I care about the coons, brothers and sisters. I care about the coons, brothers and sisters. We're going to open up a mental health rehabilitation hospital for political coonery. We are going to treat the coons, brothers and sisters. We can't leave them out there. We have to treat the coons. The Dr. Papa Mental Health Hospital for coons. We have to rehabilitate the coons, brothers and sisters.
Sambo, Uncle Tom, Masalava. Also, Uncle Tom is not an insult. He was the hero, FYI. They've called me names like butt scratcher, African butt scratcher, which I was like, I don't know what that means. A lot of these insults, the funniest thing about these insults is because I did not grow up in America, I did not know what they meant. My American friends and family on TikTok had to tell me, oh, they've insulted you. And I'm like, I can tell it's an insult, but I don't know what it means. So then I was told, I was like, oh, okay. So with time, I just learned to embrace it. I have a little raccoon sticker on the back of my car. I have a raccoon mug. You know, I have a little raccoon emoji in my profile across the board because I was like, may as well embrace this. First of all, they are cute. I don't know what your problem is. Again, they're usually Democrats. They're usually the ones who are pandered to all the time because the Democrats know how to pander to this community. They're very highly emotional beings, so they know how to annoy them, how to rile them up. They're very reactionary.
What the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman?
They don't respond, they react. All the hallmarks that they need to manipulate them. Can we talk about this, the usual suspects? You guys know what that means. Don't pretend you don't.
Stupid. I might as well just put that down.
Who's opening his door?
What?
Open the door.
Or, right, put that down.
Okay.
You go ahead and put it over there.
You have activated our inventory control.
Don't touch me. You don't have the right to touch me. Don't knock on my kids.
Oh, your kids away. Go call them. Call them. Call them.
You
Call
can't
them.
touch me though.
Call them then. Go ahead, call them.
No.
Go ahead, put that down.
Come on. Y'all just went.
Oh my gosh. Every single... I am tired, especially in the blue cities, the Chicagos, the Detroits, always the usual suspects. You hear there was a looting, you don't have to guess what the culprits look like. You just know. And it's so embarrassing when it happens because you're like, really guys, really? We're doing this again. Throwing fries at people. Getting into a fist fight. Even in a school. It's the usual suspects. That's where the ghetto fatigue is coming from. I have gone to a park to have a picnic. I love picnics. We're sitting there with my children or my husband and just having a nice quiet time. The next thing you know, here comes this guy. Yes, he looks like me. In his loud car, yelling at the phone. I said, why do you have to yell? There's zero decorum. There's just zero decorum, and it's always the same people. It's always the same people. I have had to walk away from them. They show up at a park, everyone is quiet, they're the loudest. They're the ones acting the loudest and the most obnoxious. Why? Why? That is the cause of ghetto fatigue. Terrible parenting.
If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands.
Why you not clapping? Your daddy ain't shit either.
Good.
I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do. Okay. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions. And 7 times today, I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit. And mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee.
Again, it's cuts across the board. But a woman who has children for the sake of getting welfare, a woman who has children for the sake of getting the tax credits doesn't care about being a mom. They insist on speaking the slave master's language and not the correct one. The guys who tended the fields, the cotton fields. Yes, be triggered all you want. I'm gonna say it like it is. They speak their language. Those are men who were not educated. They spoke a really broken down version of what was supposed to be English, and that's what you speak when you speak Ebonics or AAVE, as you like to call it. They get angry when you try to talk like them. One day I was giving a story and I said, it's really frustrating for me, for those who call Africa the homeland, to not know anything about it. And at the time I used to take a lot of Lyft rides. And I shared a story of having this Lyft driver who was very curious about my accent, because the first thing people notice is my accent, or my tattoos and then my accent. But she says, oh, I like your accent, where are you from? And I said, Kenya. And she looks me deadpan and she says, where that is? How do you not know about Kenya? Do you not watch the Olympics? How about Obama? Remember that whole Obama scandal about where he was born? How do you still not know about Kenya? I told this story on TikTok and I did exactly what I just did now. Because that's how I tell a story. I will try to mimic the accent and the mannerisms. I got so much hate. I got so much hate from these people on TikTok. They said, oh, you think you're how dare you, a Kenyan immigrant, come here and mock our accent. I was like, I'm not mocking it, I'm mimicking it. So if you don't like it, why do you speak that way then? Very simple question. If you don't like me holding a mirror to you and showing you how you sound or how you look, then that means you should change your life, right? You would think so, but no. Again, we're gonna come back to this, but accountability is their kryptonite. So instead of being accountable and being held accountable, they lash out. Same group, there's a lot of pride in their skin tone. Their skin tone, their blackness is everything to them. Despite the fact that MLK said, judge me not by my color, but judge me by my character, you would be surprised. They do the exact opposite. If he was alive today, if he saw what his people were doing, they are the people who really glorify this aspect of collectivism and monolithic thinking that, oh, because you're black, you should behave this way. They try to put you in a box. If you don't fit in that box, then they call you names. You know, they say you speak white, you act white, you're being a pick-me, you're a sellout, we don't claim you. That's how they act. That's how they think.
What is a rocket raccoon like you doing in my comment section? I know who you are. You're that conservative hippie lady, right? With like 600,000 followers. If you don't like your own people or like what we stand for or like the fact that we stand up for ourselves, why not just scroll past the video and keep it pushing? Bucko.
It's embedded in their... I don't believe in generational trauma because it's a bunch of bull. Because I know people who've actually gone through trauma. I have gone through trauma and I don't use it as an excuse or as a crutch in my life. But these are the people, again, coming back to the victimhood. They are very, very huge victims who victimize themselves, but they're not really victims. But their racial pride they hold is crazy. It's why you'll see them using words like black something in their profiles, black queen, black king.
All black. When you smile, the stars come out. You so black when you born, the God come out black as night.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Oh, black love, hashtag black owned business.
Now, besides the Democratic Party who bought you the KKK, Jim Crow, as well as slavery, I don't think I've seen a single group of individuals who has been more damaging to race relations than the so-called activist group, or better off, extremist group known as Black Lives Matter. Now, some of y'all are pissed off just by me saying that. You already feel some type of way. Oh, how dare you go against a black movement started by black women. Okay, y'all might have forgotten the whole they finessed hundreds of millions of dollars from donors and spent that money on mansions, vacations, and luxury goods. Y'all might have forgotten that whole part. You see, if I was to compare myself to an animal, I would likely be an elephant because I don't forget a damn thing and I keep receipts. In a single summer, this group of individuals aggregated $90 million of donor money, which means tax-free money, baby. through this organization that purported to care so much for black lives. They cared so much for black lives that they took that money and put it into white suburbs, likely white real estate agents, and bought them a couple of mansions, which ironically, as well as sadly for anybody, 2 of those mansions burnt down in the LA fires. But that's a story for another time. I want to get back to the main point. Why is it that we've stopped talking about these race hustlers, these grifters? Because they have done so much damage to what MLK and those who came before him had fought so vehemently for on both sides of the aisle. Black, white, and everything in between. These people have taken us back at least 100 years.
Can we talk about how BLM destroyed black-owned businesses? Can we talk about how you guys go to a black-owned business and you skip paying the bill? You go to a fellow black woman's business and you eat there and you skive? You bail before you pay your bill? How is that supporting a black business?
Stereotypes exist because there are people that fit into the stereotype. 3 black women went to a black-owned restaurant and skipped out on the bill that was $262. That's about $87 divided by 3. And the story gets worse. Prior to going to the restaurant, they filled out a reservation form and put all 3 of their information on that shit. So not only are you broke, but you're fucking stupid as well. And if you think that's all that was dumb, no, there's more. They actually tagged the restaurant in their Instagram post after they skipped out on the bill and said thanks for the free food. And after being caught and found, they put up a post on Facebook saying the reason why they left is because the restaurant took more than 10 minutes to bring their bill out. And to make things worse, one of the women that skipped out on the bill is actually a business owner. She has a restaurant where she sells tacos. Being a black business owner, going to another black business owner's restaurant and skipping out on their food.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to conclude. This is going to be part 2. I told you guys there's going to be a lot to say about this. This is part 2 of my black fatigue as an African immigrant, aka ghetto fatigue, because it's real. Subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what else you want me to cover. And thank you so much for watching this video. Hit the notification bell and I will see you guys in the next video. Kenyan Hippie out.